What if I told you that everything you've ever felt, every joy, every sorrow, the taste of your morning coffee, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the very sense that you are you, watching this video right now, might be a sophisticated illusion? Or maybe it's the most real thing in the entire universe. This isn't a scene from a sci-fi movie. This is the single greatest mystery facing science, philosophy, and all of humanity: the nature of consciousness. And for the next few minutes, we're going on a journey to the very edge of our understanding to try and crack its code. Hey everyone, and welcome to VeriNous. We're a new channel dedicated to diving deep into the biggest questions in science and reality. And believe me, there is no question bigger than this one. So, if you're ready to have your mind bend a little, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what's coming.
So, what is consciousness? It sounds simple. You know you're conscious. You're experiencing this video. You have thoughts, feelings, and a sense of self. But for scientists, it's a minefield. They can explain what your brain does. They can track how your eyes see the pixels on this screen, how electrical signals travel down your optic nerve, and how different parts of your brain light up to process that information. These are what philosopher David Chalmers famously called the easy problems. I say easy with a huge grain of salt, of course. But then comes the hard problem. Why does all that processing feel like something? Why do you have a private, internal, subjective experience of the color red or the sound of my voice? Why aren't we just incredibly complex biological robots, what some thinkers call philosophical zombies, processing information with no inner life at all? This feeling, this inner movie, is what scientists call qualia. And explaining it is where things get really, really weird.
To solve this puzzle, neuroscientists have been on a hunt for the neural correlates of consciousness, or NCCs. The idea is simple. Find the specific brain activity that is essential for conscious experience. For a long time, we thought there might be a single consciousness spot in the brain, but the evidence now points to something far more complex. It seems consciousness isn't a place, but a process. One of the leading ideas revolves around the brain's thalamic cortical loops. The thalamus acts like a central hub, and the cortex is the wrinkly outer layer responsible for higher thought. Information seems to be broadcasted and integrated across vast networks in the brain. In fact, a 2018 study published in Neuron by Dr. Mohammed Kubesi at George Washington University found that by electrically stimulating a region called the claustrum, they could effectively switch a patient's consciousness on and off like a light switch. When stimulated, the patient stared blankly, unresponsive. When the stimulation stopped, she regained full awareness with no memory of the event. Does that mean the claustrum is the seat of consciousness? Probably not. It's more likely a crucial clutch or conductor for the grand orchestra of the brain, but it shows we're getting closer to identifying the key players.
Okay, so we know where to look, but we still don't know what we're looking for. This is where the big theories come in. Let's break down 3 of the most fascinating ones. Theory 1, the brain's spotlight, global workspace theory, GWT. Imagine your mind is a giant theater. Most of the work, billions of neurons firing, is happening backstage, in the dark, completely unconscious. But at any given moment, one piece of information is selected, broadcasted onto the main stage, and lit by a powerful spotlight. This information on stage is what you are conscious of. It's available to your memory, your language centers, your decision-making processes. This is the global workspace theory, championed by neuroscientist Stanislaus Dehaene. Brain imaging studies support this, showing that when a stimulus becomes conscious, it doesn't just activate one small area. Instead, it triggers a wave of synchronized, brain-wide activity. It's the brain telling itself, hey everyone, pay attention to this. Theory 2, the math of feeling, integrated information theory, or IIT. Now for something completely different. What if consciousness isn't about broadcasting information, but about integrating it. This is integrated information theory, or IIT, developed by neuroscientist Giulio Tononi. IIT proposes that any system, not just a brain, is conscious if two conditions are met. One, the system must be rich in information. It has many possible states. Two, this information must be highly integrated. The parts are so interconnected, they are essentially indivisible. IIT assigns a precise mathematical value to this integration called phi. Higher the phi, the more conscious the system. A rock has a phi of basically 0. A human brain has an incredibly high phi. To test this, scientists use a clever technique nicknamed zap and zip. They use a magnetic pulse to zap the brain and then measure the complexity of the electrical echoes. Complex, unpredictable echoes are seen in comatose or anesthetized brains. Simple, fading echoes are seen in comatose or anesthetized brains. The mind-blowing implication, IIT suggests that consciousness could be a fundamental property of the universe, like mass or charge. Anything with a high enough phi, even, perhaps, a sufficiently complex AI or the internet itself, could have some form of subjective experience. Theory 3, the quantum soul, or orchestrated objective reduction, ORC-OR. All right, buckle up. We're going quantum. Nobel Prize-winning physicist Sir Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff proposed a theory that sounds like it's straight from science fiction, orchestrated objective reduction, or ORC-OR. They argue that classical neuroscience isn't enough to explain the richness of consciousness. They believe it happens at the quantum level, inside the microscopic scaffolding of our neurons called microtubules. The theory suggests that quantum computations happen within these microtubules. Each computation remains in a state of superposition, multiple possibilities at once, until it reaches a certain threshold and then collapses into a single, definite state. This moment of objective reduction is, they claim, a moment of conscious experience. Now, it's crucial to say ORC-OR is highly controversial. Most neuroscientists are skeptical because the brain is generally considered too warm, wet, and noisy for delicate quantum effects to survive. But it's a powerful reminder that the answer to consciousness might be hiding in a place we least expect.
These theories are incredible, but the mystery deepens when we look at the edge cases. Consider the octopus. Its nervous system is vastly different from ours, with the majority of its neurons in its arms. Does it have a single central consciousness or 8 semi-independent ones? What about split brain patients? In a famous series of experiments by Michael Gazzaniga, patients who had the connection between their brain's 2 hemispheres severed to treat epilepsy revealed something astounding. Each hemisphere could act and report on its own, almost as if 2 separate consciousnesses were cohabiting one skull. And the ultimate question for our age, can we build a conscious AI? Would it be a true person or just an incredibly convincing simulation? Theories like IIT suggest it might be possible, but it forces us to ask, what is our responsibility to a conscious machine we create? Conclusion. So, where does this leave us? The truth is, we don't have a final answer. We're living in a pivotal moment in science, where physics, neuroscience, and philosophy are all converging on this single, monumental question. The nature of consciousness is a puzzle box wrapped in an enigma. Are we a biological spotlight, an integrated information network, a quantum computer, or something else entirely? The one thing we know for sure is that the quest to understand our own minds is the most profound adventure we can ever undertake. It's a journey that reveals not just who we are, but what the universe itself might be. So,
the next time you simply feel something, the chill of an ice cube or the beauty of a sunset, take a moment. Appreciate the profound mystery happening inside your own head. What do you think consciousness is? Which theory resonates with you the most? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is a conversation we all need to have. Thanks for joining us on this journey at VeriNous. If you enjoyed getting your mind blown, please give this video a like and subscribe for more deep dives into the nature of reality. Stay curious.